it's so funny making videos. It's like, it's so obvious how all over the place my brain is. I don't always convey my thoughts in an order that someone's gonna understand. I probably just randomly make videos and say whatever I'm thinking or whatever has happened in between A and B, and I forget that my chain of uploads doesn't necessarily explain that for everyone. So my bad. I'm learning, you know. What I was trying to say on the other video is that I actually think everything's going to work out quite beautifully. I went up and talked to the KOA, which offers monthly rentals after November 1st. So I put in an application because it's super affordable. I mean, it's 1/3 the cost of any rental situation I'm going to have in Steamboat. And so I put an app in, and you know, it's been about a week or so. I haven't heard anything from them. However, I do know that they have availability. I think it's just not priority because it's, you know, September 1st. So they'll probably call me when they call me. Come to find out, my boss actually knows the owner of the KOA. So I'm pretty confident that I'll get a spot, albeit I don't think they have any left that have water hookups. Apparently the water is heated, and as long as you get a heated hose, everything works out through the winter. I'm gonna see if there's any strings that can be pulled, but you know, I may just have to deal with electric and figure the water situation out, which wouldn't be horrible because the electric sites are cheaper by about $150 a month. So saving money and all that, good news on that front. But if the availability does not open up until November 1st, well, I've got basically until that time before the state would consider traveling up that road too dangerous. There is signs that say like 4-wheel required, and so the one caveat is like I'm definitely not going to be able to go past November 1st just due to snowfall. But in between now and then, if there's a snow situation, that's the dicey gray area. So basically I'm waiting on the parts to be ordered from this shop in Steamboat. It's like, you know, it's nothing corporate. They're just trying to do me a favor and find something in the junkyard that's affordable. And so I just kind of have to wait for them to find that. And once they do, then we can get it installed, and it's going to be, you know, a chunk of money. But it's like, all right, I've got to earn the money first anyways. So I'm trying not to think about it too much. I got a place to rest the camper where I don't have to think about it for weeks on end, which is pretty ideal. The things that I do have to deal with are water, where to shower. I think I'm going to have to end up just getting a gym membership sooner than later. So I need to make a decision on that. And how to cook food, use the bathroom. The cabin has water situation where I can basically fill up buckets of water, 5 gallons, pour it in the back of the tank, and that will get me a flush. So that's not too bad. I can do that work. Cooking, if the propane is not connected or there's no gas to that stove, then I'm probably either gonna have to cook in my camper or get like, you know, my camping mini stove out and just kind of do that for a while. I don't know. I like to cook food. That's how I keep the bills cheap, make my own stuff. So cooking yet to be figured out, and you know, it's something to think about. I don't like eating out all the time for health reasons and for money reasons. I would just rather buy my food from the grocery store and make it myself. So you know, the cabin's not ideal. In fact, I probably will end up hanging out in my camper a decent amount of the time until I get the cabin cleaned up, until I see how things are going to go, just because it's convenient. Everything's already in there. I like my space. It's clean. So, you know, I don't know. Those are things that don't have to be figured out right now. And that's the beauty of the situation. It's like, I need time for a couple of reasons to bring some money in, as well as for them to find the part for my car. So I might as well remove the stressors of having to tote the camper around to different campsites. You know, I was gonna do some dispersed camping in the mountains, but we're getting up on probably a month left before it gets dicey, and then I'm playing with fire. So I really love this whole situation. It's like kind of exciting, it gets the adrenaline pumping because so much needs to go right at the right time. Look at that house, cool. But it's funny, I'm also getting a good sense of peace because I just, the more that I adventure in life, the more I find, and I don't know what, I'm not here to get into anything about God or whatever you think about that. I don't particularly use the word God, but there is something that kind of governs my existence that seems to just, things always work out. Things take care of themselves. Whenever I am panicking about things is usually when a solution is presented. And funny enough, like I've got all these variables in the air, but I feel pretty good because right when I needed it, boss opens up and offers his place as a place to park the camper. That removes stressor number one, moving it around. Number two, he's got a truck. I can get it up and down that thing regardless of snow. In terms of like when it's time to move to the KOA. And in the meantime, I'm never really that stuck in my vehicle. I mean, two-wheel will get me through until winter. And by then I'll definitely have the car fixed. So it's like, yeah, it's not ideal, but it's totally workable. And in the meantime, I can still do stuff like what I'm doing right now. I'm going to Fish Creek Falls, gonna get some hiking on. And it's like, I'm gonna put my mind on those things as opposed to worrying about the car. Car's gonna work out. So anyways, oh, look at that. Isn't that serendipitous? Of all the places, I had no idea, but we're going on what hike? Oh, see what I mean? Like, I get little signs like that all the time that make me feel like something bigger than me is watching or that's working things out. And I don't necessarily have to worry about it. So, that's an element to my rambling lifestyle that you may or may not have. There's tons of uncertainty when you're on the road all the time. And being a person who's dealt with anxiety plenty often, I prefer not to have it. So in order to have both, the rambling lifestyle where you're just kind of moving and shaking, and then also deal with that real human uncertainty factor. For me, having the belief that everything's going to work out adds a layer of peace to my life. So that's the point, right? Anyways, we're out to get some food, then headed up to Fish Creek Falls.